Hi, I'm Chris Shelton, coming to you from the beautiful Santa Fe, New Mexico. Here today with the DIY Home Healing Home Remedies Guide for your health, happiness, and self-healing. Today what we're going to be discussing is anxiety and the root cause of anxiety and how you could actually fix it yourself without medication. So carrying on with this month's topic for the summer, where the heart is most prone to disease, I thought I'd talk about something that plagues millions of Americans around the country and actually millions of people around the world. So there's two types of anxiety. There's acute anxiety where you suffer from it every once in a while or in certain situations, and then chronic anxiety. Some people have chronic anxiety to the point to where they can't even drive because this anxiety is so bad, or they can't even leave the house. So what we're going to be talking about today is what are the fundamental makeups that create anxiety to begin with, and then what can we do about it? You know, most of the time when I talk about Qigong and how it affects the human organism and how it improves our life, you know, we talk about the emotional state which contributes to disease. So anxiety is, yes, one component of it is the mental emotional state and the dysfunction of the different internal organs. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But diet plays a big role because, believe it or not, even though you feel the anxiety here, most people actually feel it here in this epigastric region here. You'll talk about where do you feel this anxiety, and they'll actually say, I actually feel it right here. So even though it affects the heart region and or the xiphoid process, the epigastric region, a lot of times, besides the heart, the stomach and liver and kidneys will also play a role on it too. So people that crave foods like sugar, carbs, pastas, alcohol, crave really cold things, greasy, fatty, fried foods, really spicy foods. These are some of the foods that actually will contribute and create anxiety. And even though at some level, especially the carbs and the sugars might tend to be a temporary comfort food for you, the reality is that those foods actually will contribute more of a dysfunction between the stomach and the liver itself, which then affects the heart, which then affects the mind. So really looking at an anxiety, we want to be able to look at what kind of foods that we can eat or not eat that will actually contribute more to the disease process or to this feeling. Because overall, we want to be able to have people not suffering from anxiety and being able to have a happy, pain-free, and a healthy life and without any of these symptoms. So again, watching your diet, avoiding carbs, sugars, and if you're somebody that's changed over to a cold raw diet or you're going through a diet fad and you're doing cold or raw, or you went completely vegan and all of a sudden developed anxiety, listen to your body, because if you made that kind of diet change and all of a sudden you have anxiety, or all of a sudden you're suffering from depression or having other health issues, it's not your body's way of purging out. I disagree. I believe it's your body's way of saying, listen to me, this is not the diet that I need for my constitution. So just to wrap up there, diet is of utmost importance. If you are somebody that craves sugar and carbs, it means that there's an imbalance going on inside the body, and really that imbalance of the stomach and the liver and the pancreas is also what will contribute to the anxiety. Now, obviously emotional components will contribute to anxiety too. In fact, the negative emotion of the spleen is actually worry, over-intellectualizing, thinking too much, and anxiety. But also the heart too. The heart obviously takes the brunt of all the emotions that come into us from our environment, and then it dictates how much emotion will be expressed or suppressed. The kidneys, how do the kidneys play a role? Well, your kidneys are affected by fear and shock, and if you have something that's happened in your life that was very shocking, let's say surviving abuse, a car accident, a severe illness, those kinds of things also will contribute to anxiety as well. So what are the Qigong movements that I could do, Chris, right here, right now? And one of my favorite ones is to grab the end of the pinkies. This is the end of the heart acupuncture channel. From there it connects actually to the small intestine channel. So you're going to grab and pinch the end of the pinkies here. You're going to inhale, imagine a pink cloud filling up into the heart as I inhale. And then as I exhale, I'm going to make the sound of ha. Now when I'm making the sound of ha, if I'm in public, I'll do the sound underneath my breath, but if I'm at home feeling anxious, I'm going to do it audibly. I'm going to imagine the anxiety, even if you don't know what it is, but that feeling sensation, I'm going to imagine that flowing away like a dark cloud, going several feet away from the body and deep into the ground. So we're going to go and pinch here. I'm going to inhale. And so by pinching here, I'm actually triggering this heart acupuncture meridian. And as I'm making the ha sound and allowing for that negative circumstance or that feeling of anxiety to leave like a dark cloud, going several feet away from the body and into the ground, inhaling. So we're going to do this over and over and over again. Now, if you are in public, most of the time, most of us will not do this out loud, unless you live in the Bay Area, like San Francisco, like near San Francisco, like we do. It normally is found to be okay and acceptable. Maybe not here in Santa Fe though. So if I had anxiety, walk around the streets of Santa Fe, I would do underneath my breath like so. So instead of trying to just deal with it mentally, what I'm doing is I'm really helping the vibration that's affecting the heart or that feeling to leave by making the sound, by pinching on the acupuncture point on the end of the heart channel there, and by allowing for the positive virtue of love to come in. If you feel like you're having an immediate panic attack, this is a good one to do. Another classical thing to do is if you start hyperventilating because you're having anxiety, is get a small paper bag. This is old school, but breathe into that small paper bag over and over again, and that carbon monoxide will actually help to calm your breathing down and actually help to soothe this sensation or this anxiety attack that you're having. Okay, so like I said too, also the kidneys play a big role in this. If you had any kind of situation in your life that caused fear or shock in your life, and a very simple practice to do with this one is actually to place the back of the hands on the kidneys. And the kidneys, if you do not know where they're located right opposite the navel on the low back, and the color blue is associated with them. And what I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to massage the kidneys here with my knuckles, the back of my knuckles, and then as I inhale, I'll make the foo sound. Inhaling, imagine water or blue light filling up into the kidneys, because the kidneys do relate to the water element. Inhale. Imagine that fear or that anxiousness also leaving like a dark cloud, going several feet away from the body and deep into the ground. Okay, inhaling. Okay, so once again, if you're in public and you're probably not going to make the sound audibly, so you can do the sound underneath your breath, inhaling. As you inhale, imagine that pink cloud filling up into the kidneys as you inhale. Then as you exhale, imagine the fear leaving like a dark cloud, going several feet away from the body and deep into the ground. The third organ that's associated with this is your stomach and spleen. So the color yellow is associated with your spleen and pancreas and stomach, and I'm going to imagine a yellow cloud filling up into the left quadrant of my body. So it's okay if you don't remember exactly where or know exactly where the organ's located. Believe it or not, by simply placing your mind intent there, you actually will trigger this connection with the organ and with the emotion. So once again, the negative emotion that affects the spleen is the emotions of worry, anxiety, and overthinking things too much. So inhaling. Now what I'm doing is I imagine the yellow cloud filling up into the left quadrant of my body. And then as I exhale, I'm making the sound. And then as I'm doing that, I'm imagining the circumstance and or just the feeling sensation. You don't even have to know what's making you anxious in order to get benefit from this Qigong practice. So inhale. Imagine that leaving like a dark cloud going several feet away from the body. And as we do this, and as we balance out your stomach and spleen and pancreas, this center area of the body, what we're then doing is we're establishing centeredness, peace of mind, and serenity. That's what we're trying to bring in, letting go of this emotion and anxiety. Another simple practice that you could go ahead and do is massaging the yang organs, inhaling and exhaling. And as you inhale, you can imagine golden light coming up from the earth and filling up into the heart, into the stomach, liver, and kidneys. And then as you exhale, imagine that leaving like a dark cloud out through the feet and down deep into the ground. Very simple practice to do. And you can actually walk and do this one as well too. I see some of the parks in the Bay Area, people walking and doing this. Now I don't know if they're doing this exact exercise, but if you want to make it into a mindfulness practice, the best way to make it into a mindfulness practice is to imagine this golden light coming up from the earth, saturating the heart, the spleen, the stomach, the kidneys, and then as you exhale, releasing out the imbalance, the anxiety, allowing for the positive virtue of peace of mind and serenity to come in, calming you down. And then from here, then I just finish with pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhaling and exhale, and inhale and exhaling, just to allow for the white light. And also just pulling down the heavens is also a great practice if you're feeling anxious about something. Just imagine connecting to your higher self, God, the universe. Just imagine that white light coming in, and you could do as many of these as you want in order for you to feel calm and relaxed. So there you have it. So I give you a few examples of food choices that to avoid, and once again, it would be sugar, carbs, processed foods, breads, pastas, alcohol, those types of things. Oh, greasy, fatty, fried foods also will contribute to anxiety, as well as spicy foods. And then we gave you the Qigong practices for the heart healing sound, the kidney healing sound, the spleen healing sound, massaging the yang organs, and then finally, last but not least, pulling down the heavens. And this helps to drastically calm the heart, cool the stomach and spleen, cool the liver down, and then strengthen your body. And one last thing too, just very gently pressing on the heart 9 point, or the heart, the end of the heart channel here, at the end of the pinkies, and squeeze that gently, making the ha sound also works too. So signing off from a beautiful Santa Fe, New Mexico. Until next week, I'm Chris Shelton, and I hope you have a wonderful summer. Be happy, be healthy, and be well.